So the first thing that we're going to talk about is getting a course template into a new course. So elementary teachers are going to be able to use all of their courses and sync their grade book to Skyward, just like middle school and high school teachers have been able to. So last year we did not use all of the courses because we didn't have the option to sync our grades. So now we're encouraging everyone to use all of their courses in elementary school. So this is the same way to add a template in any course, no matter what area you teach. So I'm going to go into reading for first grade. So my course, I want to make sure that I'm on my 2020-21 course. And I'm going to go ahead in there, but you don't really have to go in there as your first step. But you notice that the course is blank. There's nothing, no content or anything in it yet. So I'm going to go to the Commons, which is over there on the left toolbar. And I am going to type in LCSC. No capitals or anything, just LCSC. And then you'll recognize Josh Hawk's name on those templates. And so I was going to start with my reading course for that first grade classroom. So I come and I find the reading template. When I click on that, it looks like something went wrong here, but it's okay. I've practiced and it works just fine. So you're going to click import download. I'm also in Chrome. Sometimes that's important to know. We've been having trouble with pictures showing up in Safari, but they show up fine in Chrome. So that's where I went today to get started. So I am going to import this into my first grade class. So I'm going to click reading, grade 1, and I'm going to import into that course. And then I will go back to that dashboard and find my reading course again in Lastly. And this time when I open it, hopefully here in a second, it's being imported, so I have to be kind of patient. You see that little warning that says one or more items currently being imported. There we go. So it doesn't take too long, but sometimes it feels like something didn't work correctly when it takes a few seconds to load. So now I have this template ready to go. And this is where you can design it to look a little bit more primary, or put a picture of something that you want under the banner. You want to keep the banner there, but down here, this is where you would make it unique to what you teach. I was working with some elementary teachers, and we thought that it might be the best choice to label these as August, September, October, name them by months, and then within those have our week and daily plans. If you want to name them by the specific unit that you teach first, you can rename them that way. So I'll just go ahead and click in there. Everyone sees this as their overview. So again, if you had unit 1, then these are the lessons within that unit that you have. These typically happen daily or every other day if you're on a block schedule. So you would probably want to also put the date with those lessons so that the kids would know what date that started, if that makes sense for you. And then just remember that this is a photo, so you can edit and remove that photo and put something that's more descriptive of what you teach, I guess. And then when you click one more time, that is the lesson planning template. So that is where you would put, again, the dates and what materials you need the kids to have for that lesson. And so it would all be within here. So even if you create separate assignments or separate assessments, you might have them linked over here on this page so that the kids have it all all the work for that day within that page. So if we go home, this banner isn't unique to this teacher, Miss Lastly. So we want to change that to have her name on it. So the way, and we're also going to change the card at the beginning. So if I click on settings, there's a picture photo card for the dashboard that the kids can see. So we're going to get an image for that as well. If I go to the dashboard, every teacher is a member of the LCSE Teachers and Staff course. So if I click in there, and then I go to Teaching and Learning, Technology Integration. Within here, we have some different resources and probably some videos over what we're talking about right now. This is just more of an updated version. This is probably where we will house the videos after we send the videos out to you all. We'll post them here so that you can, if you lose the email or the link, then you can find them within Canvas resources. So if I go ahead and click on there, it tells me how I can update my course banner template and my course card template. So I'm going to start with a banner. And if you're signed in and you have your Google account ready to go, it'll just ask you right away to make a copy. Otherwise, it'll prompt you to sign into your Google account. So I'm going to go ahead and click Make a Copy. We'll wait for that spinning wheel to continue. And then you have all of these different banners that you can choose from based on what you teach. So I am going to go to the reading banner. And I am going to change it to say, Mrs. Lastly, reading. And then I will go, so this is the part that you kind of don't think about, about saving it this way, but you go to File. And if you're doing all your courses, you can also change your different courses here, your banners here, all at the same time. So you'd follow these same steps, but you could go ahead and do math and reading and language or whatever you needed to do. So I'm going to go ahead and go to download. I click download here, and we're going to save it as a picture. So we're saving it as a JPEG. So if I click on that, because I am in Chrome, it pops up down here. Usually if you're in Safari, it pops up at the top. So I'm going to click on that. Can you still see that? Wait, I think it changed it because okay. Let me stop the share. Will I be able to show that part? Oh, here it is, I think. Okay, so hopefully you can see that now. Perfect. And I'm going to change the name of it because that way I'll find it. I'm going to put it on my desktop just so it's easy to find. So I'm just going to call it reading and change it to my desktop. And then it doesn't really have a place where you can click save, but if you just click out of it, it's saved for you. So I'm going to go ahead and click the X, and then it stops my screen for a second here while we switch gears. And then you would do the same thing. You would do the same thing to get your banner. So if I go back here and go down to the course card template. So those are the little squares that the kids see right when they open Canvas. So I'll real quickly find that course card. And you save it the same way. So we'll let this load. And I would name reading. So I could add Mrs. Lashley's reading on here, but because all the kids will have her, I'll just go ahead and say File, Download, JPEG. This might kick me off again. Okay. Then I'm gonna reshare my screen. And then I'm going to change the name. And I called the last one Reading, so I might call this one Reading Card, so that I know that's the difference, so I can just pick out the difference between the two. Save it to my desktop. I just click the picture again, it saves, and it kicks me off again. So we'll go here. And now I can go back to my course. And I'm working in reading. And I'm going to hit edit. I'm going to click on that picture that's there and delete it. I'll go over to images. And then I want to upload a new image. Choose file. And I want my desktop. And I called that reading. There's my reading banner. Open. I can go ahead and title that picture reading. So if I had a screen reader, it would read over it and just say reading. Maybe I'll say reading picture. And then upload. And there's my banner. So now I can go ahead and edit this and describe my course and give directions for the students and for parents, if they're reading it as well, on what they need to click on to get their coursework done. So I'm going to click Save. And now if I go down to Settings, I can click to choose an image on my card, go to Desktop, and find my reading card. So see, it helps to really be specific when you name those so they're easy to find. So I upload that and go down to Update Course Details. And so what that does is when the kids go to their courses, it has that right here. You can see, change it to a different color. That card is there as well. So, and I think that is all for my part right now. And Wade is going to talk a little bit about using some of the materials you may already have and sharing those to a different course. So.
Okay, I think you guys should be able to see my screen now, right? Yep. Okay. Let me move this menu bar out of my way. Okay, so I opened up my course for this year for my Principles of Engineering class. And what I want to do, because I used the template last year, and I know that I have most of my content that I want to be able to reuse from year to year, I want to go in and I want to grab that content from last year and capture it, bring it into this course. Many of us have done this if we've been the ones of us that have been using Canvas from year to year. So this is not completely new, but just a little refresher here. And for those of us, some of us elementary, this may be the first time we've done that. I'm going to show you two different options here. I'm going to show you how to bring all the content over at once. Then I'm also going to show you how to be selective about what content we bring over. So I'm in my course for this year, not my course from a previous year. I opened up this year's course. I'm going to go to Settings. And then on the right side over here, I'm going to import course content. And this import content dropdown, I'm going to pick copy a Canvas course. And then I'm going to start searching for the name. Mine's going to get crazy because it's going to show everything forever. I'm going to find my 1920 semester 2. Because personally from semester to semester, I just take first semester, I moved into semester 2. So I want to take semester 2, so it's got everything. If I want to bring everything over at once, I'm going to pick this all content option here. If I want to pick specific content, I'm going to select the specific content. So if I want everything, I'll go all. If I want to pick specific things, I can select specific content. And then I also want to check this adjust events and due dates box. If I don't check that box, it's going to take all the due dates from last year and go ahead and apply them to the course for this year, which really then is just going to have old dates on everything. If I check that, I can just tell it to remove dates from everything, and then I'll assign new dates when I get there. So I'm going to click import. Once I get to the import job here, now I have to pick which content I want to bring over. This is where we get to kind of some things to think about here as we're bringing things over. Each one of these little things are items we can bring over. We're going to want to bring over the course settings and the syllabus body, just so that content is there. If I drop down the modules here, I'll see all the modules that I have set up in there, and I can pick that module. If I pick a module, it's going to go ahead and bring any pages or assignments that are embedded inside that module to bring that over as well. If I expand down assignments, I can pick specific assignments as well to bring over. Same thing with quizzes. I could pick specific quizzes that I want to bring over. Question banks, discussion topics, pages, external tools, all those types of things. I can pick which things I want to bring over. Anything that it brings over up here, if a file is attached to it, it should bring that file with it. If it doesn't, we can go back over and get it later if we need to. For today's sake, I'm going to pick that I want to bring over my under pages, I want to make sure I get my home page, which I think is called course overview. So let me scroll down here and get course overview. Course overview, that's my home page. And then I want to come up here and I'm going to grab my module and I'm going to grab just my first unit out of this. So 1.1 mechanisms was my first unit. So I'm going to grab that and all my content that is inside unit 1.1. Trying to think if there's anything else that we thought that we may need. I think there's a unit in here called introduction. Let's grab that unit as well, because that has the parent information in it. So I'm going to grab introduction. I grabbed my course overview, and I grabbed my first unit that I want to bring over. Cross our fingers that I grabbed everything I need. We're going to let that import run. It's going to take just a second here for this bar to go past. Okay, tells me there's 15 issues. It's missing something. Maybe. So we'll just go with it. We'll see in a second. They'll tell me, they'll start yelling at me. So if I go to my home page now, I see that all of my home page is there that I brought over from last year. Obviously, if I click on unit 1.1, it should link to my unit 1.1 overview from last year. But if I click on unit 2, it's not going to go anywhere because that page doesn't exist because I didn't bring over unit 2 yet. I'm going to leave that page. Looking at my modules here as well. Let's double check. I should have my my formula sheet should have came over with it. Yep, it downloaded that PDF. My parent information page. Yep, it brought that over like I wanted it to. If I go to my modules, I'll see that I have module 1.1, all my day units in there, and I have my introduction, which is my course overview, my parent information. Now I can open up day 1. I can begin editing here. If I was ready to edit this page, actually day 1 is going to be August 13th again, I believe. Actually, no, isn't it? Oh, with our adjusted schedule. So I'm not going to make any edits in here, but I could go in and I could edit all my stuff that I have from last year, and it's there and ready to go. If I look over here under assignments, it does not look like it brought in my assignments. So up here under unit 1, it did not bring over assignments with it. So if I go like here to unit 13 or August 13th, and I try to grab this 1.1 career professional interview, it didn't bring that assignment over. So I go back to my settings, and this is the same way I do it if I find other content. I can import course content again, copy a Canvas course, go find that content. This is where sometimes it's easier just to bring everything over because then you have everything. I'm just going to go ahead and bring all my assignments over because I know I want them eventually in this course anyways. So I'm just going to pick everything. I could expand that down, pick individual things. But like I said, I'm just going to bring everything over. Give that a second to run. Anything in questions that?
Yes, they're asking to share the parent information. So I believe the parent information page is built into each of the templates. So if you go to modules, right? If you go to modules and then maybe, I don't know if it'll show up in your module, but modules, and then it's like the second page and it says parent information, and it gives the information on how to, it's basically the parent and the child almost need to be side by side, and the parent gets the code from the child going into Canvas.
Yeah, it's under this introduction module in all of the templates to start with. So by bringing over the introduction module from last year, I have this parent information page that has the enrollment guideline or the enrollment document telling them how to enroll. So the student logs in, this walks them through what to do to get their pairing code. And then the parent needs to go to lebanon.instructure.com, and then there's a button that says, click here to create a parent account. And then they'll follow these instructions to create the parent account. That's where if you look at the People's tab, sometimes you'll see like random other names beside your students, and it'll say, like here's one, I got Nikki Baldwin is observing Matthias Baldwin in this course. So she can see anything that Matthias does and all the assignments assigned to Matthias. So now those assignments should be there. Yep, my assignments came over. And so now if I go to that page, that link should be fixed. Looks like I don't know. Not sure why that link is broke, but I've got it there, so I can always highlight it, go to assignments, re-find that assignment, and update that link. And save. So now I've got that. Now that should work. So it is a good thing if you're bringing over content from last year to always double check all the links and make sure that everything still works, whether it's an internal Canvas resource or if it's, sorry, I'm getting feedback from Bethany sitting next to me, or I just heard an echo of myself. Always good to check all your links that you brought over from the previous year, whether it's an internal link and making sure that it's there, or if it's an external link that the site still works before we send it out to our class. Another thing that I want to show you guys is what is a new feature in Canvas. It came out last spring. It's called Direct Share or Direct Copy and Share. It is not right now for some reason, and I'm going to ask Canvas why this is the case, but it won't let you take content from a concluded course and move it to this year's course one thing at a time. But if you have stuff within a current course, you can move it to another current course. So for example, if I'm on an assignment here and I've made that for one class, maybe I didn't cross list a class, or maybe I have like an honors class and a regular class, but I want to be able to share an assignment back and forth between the two. I have this cool feature called send to and copy to. If I click the three dots on the right side of an assignment here, it'll also do it on a page or a quiz as well. So if I do copy to, it gives me a little pop out over here to the side, and I can search for a course that I want to send this to. I don't have, let's see, do I have anything else? I have a tall course, I'll send it to that. I'll just send it to this course. I can even then go down as telling it which module I want it to go to inside of that course when I send it. If I need to send it to a module, tell it top or bottom or whatever. In that, I can copy that. So now this assignment, I just sent it to this course called TAL Canvas 2.0, which was a PD class session we did last year at the high school. And now that assignment is going to show up inside that course. Another option that you can see here, which is handy if you're trying to share to maybe a colleague or a teammate, we have the send to option as well. If I click that send to option, I can now begin to send it to somebody. So if I start typing Bethany Newsome, she should pop up here, and I can now send that to Bethany. Where that's going to go for Bethany, if she clicks on account, she'll see shared content here. And if she clicks on that, then anything that she's received is going to show up from here. And then under actions, she can choose to import it into any course she wants to. So I could choose to import that. I can now pick which course that I want to send that to. So that's a handy way to be able to send stuff back and forth between teachers without having to upload to Commons or download or add other teachers to your courses. Those are all options, but this is just another way to directly send something between staff members as well. Questions or things that I missed?
Just to double check that it's important to cross list first before you copy any course material over from your other classes. It's best to cross list first.
As long as you know which course you're going to ultimately cross list everything into, then you could, it doesn't matter which order you do it in. I do think it's easiest to just cross list them all. If nothing else, it cleans up your dashboard here of all the courses. You'll notice that on your dashboard this year, you see published courses at the top. Then if you scroll down, you'll see unpublished. So all your new courses show up under unpublished. If you need to get to a previous course, remember, go to courses. Maybe. Because once the year expires or ends, it takes those courses and concludes them, which also means your students don't see them anymore. Maybe. There we go.
We have a few that.
And then at the bottom, click on all courses. And that's where you'll see all your previous courses. Easiest way to tell is look under this term column, and then you'll see which year they're from.
So we will send out the parent page as a PDF link, maybe to all staff again, just to make sure you have that. And then you would just be able to upload it on your page as a PDF. And that way all parents will, or you'll be able to share that with any parents. And then also, we didn't necessarily plan on adding cross-listing to this session. So, but we could maybe do a brief one at the end, and then people that want to jump off that don't need that information can do that. So yes, we could probably do a quick tutorial at the end of cross-listing. So I am going to go ahead and take over real quick to talk about duplicating pages and linking them. So I am going to try to stop Wade. Let me share my screen. Okay. We also probably have a few times to sign up if anybody feels like they need more details or more one-on-one work. We're doing sessions this week, and then we could probably also work out a time the next couple of weeks to help you out. So I'm going to go back to that reading course, and I'm going to talk about just duplicating and linking in the modules real quickly. So as we had talked, I might want this to be called August, just say. And that's what I want that content to be called there. So as we know, sometimes when we click on that afterwards, it sometimes breaks the link. In this case, it didn't. But then on this next page, one of the first things I always like to do is get rid of this picture. And this might be my lesson plan for August 13th, 2020. And then I maybe don't want this to be called Unit 1 Overview anymore. And we know that when we change this right here, it definitely will break the link, but I want this to be called August Overview, because all my lessons on this page are going to be in August. And as we worked through this in, I know elementary, we ended up having on our homepage many dates over the last, when we were out of school. So this will help divide it up within your courses so that if we end up going completely remote or working in Canvas daily within our classrooms, the dates would be in here, but they wouldn't be quite as many as what we had on that list. So, because they'd be broken up by month. So if I want to say name it that, I'm going to click, and I wanted it to be August Overview. So now I'm going to hit save. So now if I go over to modules, you can see that it changed here too, my overview page to say August Overview. So these are lesson planning pages. If I click on there, I also want this one to match by saying August, if I can spell it, August 13th, 2020. And you would change all of this to say the date, maybe the topic if you wanted to. So I'm going to say August 13th, 2020. And if you're teaching that topic for a few weeks, your ICANN statements will probably be the same. You can take away, if you call them ICANN objectives or goals or essential questions is usually what we call them. You can go ahead and set up your page the way you want it, and you want to set up that page before you duplicate it. That way you won't have to edit all of this information more than once. So if you need to have bell work in there, you could put that in there, but maybe you want to just call it the first part of your lesson, the introduction. The second part of the lesson, you just want it to be instruction. And then you want to call it, because we don't give a lot of homework, I'm going to get rid of homework, and we'd call it independent practice. And then all your content would go in there. So once you have that all done and click save, I'm going to go ahead and look at my module again. So now it not only changed, it changed my page and what the title of it is over here. So now I have August Overview and August 13th. You can save these blank pages if you want for later, but because I've already set this one up the way I want it, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those extra pages because I only want to duplicate the one that I have set up the way that makes sense for my my daily lessons. So now I am going to go back home, and I'm going to edit the title of this module as well and call it August 2020. So all of my August lessons will go within that module. So now I'm going to go for reading. So now I'm going to go ahead home. And many of us ran into this situation when we changed and made things look the way we wanted them to look. When I click August, we'll see, I think that one stayed linked. We'll click that one. See how good. So this makes for a good example because it didn't stay linked. So I'm going to go back home. So when this pops up, you know that there's been a linking error. So if I go to edit on this page, and I scroll down to my August button and highlight it, then I can go over here to pages, and I want to find the one that says August overview, because that one's going to tell the parents or the students everything that we're kind of learning about in August, and I'll have those August buttons. So I'm going to click there and click save. And then when I click on that now, it'll go to my overview page. And so right here is where I'd want to put all the things that my students were learning for that month. I'd also want to give them directions for what they need to click on. Elementary people, remember that you can also add a little emoji. So I just clicked Control Command Spacebar, and you could put an emoji by that, so that if they are non-readers, you can say, click the one with the pencil. So this would be need to be relinked since I renamed it. So I'm going to highlight it, head over to pages, and find my page that was dated for August 13th. So now that now I can click save. And now I can, remember, I click on the pencil. The lessons and videos and anything that you would want the students to do for that day would be right here, which will help with the spacing in the classroom for the kids to be able to watch their videos on their own with headphones and things like that. So now I'm ready to make August 14th. So what I'm going to do is go to modules, and I'm going to duplicate my August 13th page. And now it's just a copy. So right now, if I type anything in August 13th, 2020, it's going to show up down here in my August 2020 copy. So until I change the name of it, anything I type in this one is going to show up in this one. So I don't want that to happen. I want to edit this one and call it the 14th. And get rid of the word copy. And then I'm going to update. Now, if I go to my home button, I'm working all in August right now. I want this next button to say August 14th. So I went to edit, August 14th, 2020. I want a different icon. I'm going to do a notebook. And then I'm going to click, oh, I almost clicked save, but I have to go ahead and link it. So I'm going to highlight it, go to pages. There's my August 14th. And you can see that we don't have as many pages when you start a fresh course. So that makes it a little bit easier to get everything organized and to find it over here in this list of pages. So I click save. And now when I click on the notebook, I just change the date here. So remember, you want to leave this header alone if you're happy with the organization, because if you change that, it'll change the link again. So then I would just go ahead and change the dates. I could erase my video I put in for the 13th and put in a new video, have a new assignment, and have the students turn in something to show me that they understood what we learned that day. So I hope that helps a little bit with duplicating and linking pages.
So I'm back up for some cross-listing, right? Is that where we're at?
Yep.
Okay. So let's look at, sorry, let me get back to my course here and share my screen. Okay, so let's get a refresher on cross-listing. Remember, cross-listing is how we bring in multiple courses or multiple sections of the same course to be able to share them so that way they all see the same content and I don't have to duplicate things multiple times. So I'm going to work in my introduction to manufacturing courses for this, which I have not, I've not brought any content into yet, but that's fine for what we're going to do here. I'm going to pick which one of these courses I want to be my main course. Let me refresh this real quick. I made some changes here. Okay. Make sure I'm grabbing the ones that say semester 1, and I want to put those two together. So if I look, I see I've got introduction to manufacturing semester 1, semester 2, semester 1. So I'm going to open up one of these semester 1 courses. And then the trick is that I need to know this number here up in my address bar. Each course in Canvas basically has a unique number. And so I need to grab that unique number. So for this course, I'm going to send everything to this course. So my number is 24378, and I'm just going to copy that to my clipboard. If I have a bunch of them, I might write it down, 378, just so I have it. And then I'm going to go back out of that course, and I'm going to open up my other one. In my mind, it is backwards in how Canvas does cross-listing. I have to go to the course that I want to send, and then tell it where to go. So I'm going to go to the course that I want to move. So I want to cross-list this course into that other one. So I'm in the one I want to send, and I'm going to go to settings. And then I'm going to go to sections. And then I'm going to click on the section here. And then I'm going to choose to cross-list this section. And then this is where I'm going to enter that number. I can always search for it, but if I enter the number, I know that I've got the one I want it to go to. And then I click cross list. It tells me it was successful. So now if I go back to my home screen, my dashboard, I should now only have 3 intro to manufacturing here because I haven't, the second semesters are still showing up. Yep, I got 1 first semester and 2 second semester still. So if I open up this one for first semester, and if I want to double check it, if I go to settings and sections, I can see I've got both sections in there. Eventually I will want to go back in and rename these so that way they're a name that I recognize. So like this is period 03, period 04. I need to probably go see as a high school teacher whether that's gold or black. I think these are actually gold, but I don't know without checking Skyward off the top of my head for sure. But to edit the title of that, I would just click on that and edit section. Then I can update this name. So I can say G3 MFG. It's just my short for manufacturing. Update section. And then go back and I can do the other one as well. So that's G4 MFG. So now I've updated both those names. I also want to look at, if I'm going to cross list, my course name, which is, as you can see up here, the course name right now still says period 3. I'm going to want to get rid of that period 3 in that course name. So that's under settings and then course details, because now every kid is going to see that period 3, even if they're in my 4th hour class. So I'm just going to get rid of that. And I'm just going to call this, I'm going to add fall 2020 to it so that I know that this is fall semester. I can also update this short code. I usually just do a short intro MFG fall 2020 and update. So now I updated the name of that course. One thing you'll notice that for secondary teachers is probably not as big of a concern. We ran into issues last summer or last spring when we were in the e-learning. The vertical bar caused problems in the app for our elementary kids. So I'm not telling you can't use the bar, especially secondary teachers. Personally, I like it, so I'll probably go back in here and change it. But to be safe on elementary that are using the iPads, I would probably use a hyphen rather than the vertical bar this year. We think that Canvas code has been updated to not cause issues, but it was causing the app to crash when it was on page names. So now I have those together. That's cross-listed, and now I could bring content into this course, just like I showed you before, whether that's through the templates or whether that is bringing it in from a previous course, and they would be there for both sections. Also, remember when you make an assignment, you can assign that out to different sections based off of which section they're in there. So if you need to assign a due date differently, you can. I know for secondary this year, that will look even different when we're doing, half our students in person, half of them virtually. Some of that may look a little different on due dates, and you may need to assign things even more granular, which you can do per kid if you need to. So just know that as you start thinking about that, and we'll talk more about assignments tomorrow, if you do multiple due dates on an assignment, when you try to sync it to Skyward, you'll have to eventually edit all those due dates to be the same, or otherwise the assignment won't sync to Skyward. But we can talk through that tomorrow. What questions do we have?
We just had a question about Chrome, and I said that that would be on LMS and LHS MacBooks.
Yeah, I was told over the summer it was sent out to all of the student MacBooks because the Indiana Online summer school required it this summer, and so they now have Chrome.
Real quickly, I am going to answer one question about the elementary font that you can change it to. I had a question there on the chat. So if you go to settings on your course, it doesn't do much. It's not like a super big deal, but if you're interested, it does give the font more of a primary look. So I went to settings when I was in my course, and then I went to feature options, and then I went to Canvas elementary theming. So when I switch that on, it says enable it. Elementary theming will change the font in the Canvas interface and simplify the course navigation menu for all users in your course, which you can already simplify the navigation menu, but that just does it for you. And then it changes. You can see the font is a little bit more, I guess, primary. So that is the Canvas elementary theming. And I think we are caught up on questions as far as that goes. So we want to thank everyone for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and stop the recording now so that